Here are 20 plus interesting features on the brand new 2024 Audi Q8 e-tron. Thank you to Audi Queensway here in Toronto for giving me the Q8 to go through the works for you guys. Now let's hop into all these interesting features. Now the first feature I like to show you guys is the key fob that you'll get when you purchase this vehicle. I like this little key fob because it's nice gloss black with some silver. It's got the nice e-tron logo at the back. Of course, you got the lock, the door trunk, and the unlock button, and a panic button on the back. It's everything you need out of a nice little slim key fob that's easy to fit in your pocket. Now the next interesting feature is in the front bumper. They have imprinted e-tron into the lower part of the massive grille that you're gonna get with the Audis. The next one is the actual front badge. So most Audi logos, we're gonna see them in chrome or black, depending if they're like an RS model. But this one looks like it's all blacked out and it's an LED light that's gonna illuminate at nighttime for that Audi symbol for those 4 rings. Right below the logo is where you would find the front camera if you upgrade to the 360 parking package. Without that, you just get a little blank tile here and no front camera. The next interesting feature is the headlights. You have this massive long turn signal beam across the top, so then your low beams and high beams, and you have some LED cornering lights. Now the next interesting feature is along the side of the vehicle. That's these aerodynamic wheels. Now a lot of other manufacturing wheels you'll find are aluminum wheels with some plastic plugged in to be that aerodynamic. With these Audi wheels, these look to be 100% aluminum with all these lines in here. For more aerodynamics, that means longer range, which is very important when you have an EV vehicle. We also have massive 6-piston calipers at the front for maximum braking power. Now up next is going to be the charging port. On the driver's side, you have a charging port. By clicking this button, it powers open for you. How cool is that? You're going to have level 1, 2, and level 3 charging capabilities on the driver's side of the vehicle. Just give it a click, and it'll close back up. And of course, you have the e-tron logo right on that flap. But it doesn't end there, because on the passenger side, you also have another flap. So depending on how you park and where that charging station is, you have access on both sides. Now, interestingly enough, this is only level 1 and level 2 and doesn't have the DC charging for level 3. So if you want level 3, you have to be on the driver's side. The next interesting feature is the side skirt. So you have a flash side skirt, and then in between the side skirt and the door panel, there's kind of like these 3 lines here that give it a little bit of a dynamic look along the side. That look also carries into the rear bumper with those 3 lines continuing and then turning into 1 line. And then you have the e-tron logo stamped into that rear bumper right above that rear diffuser. Now up next is the rear light bar. You have your rear taillights that carry over the whole back of the SUV. So you have maximum visibility in any foggy or rainy conditions. Anybody behind you is absolutely going to see you. Now the next interesting feature at the back, or actually lack thereof, there's no kick sensor to open up the trunk. Whenever you want to open the trunk, you have to use your hand, bring it up right below the Audi logo. But you do have a full power tailgate. Now inside the trunk area, you're gonna have a chrome kick plate here, as well as a privacy cover that's gonna connect like that. A little bit of a handle right here. Also goes back. It can also disconnect, so you can remove it for additional storage. I will say though, that was a little bit harder to get in and out than a competitor like the X5. But something that this Audi has that the X5 no longer offers is the fact that you have a rear handle here to drop those back seats, one on either side. I know the X5 used to have that, but they just don't have that anymore. Down below here, you have an inflatable spare tire and a little bit of extra cargo room. Now the next interesting feature is at the rear tailgate. Instead of just closing it, you can actually click a lock button. So it will close and lock. So if you're grabbing the groceries out of the back, you don't need to actually lock your vehicle again. Boom, it closes and then locks the door for you. Before we start talking about all the awesome features on the inside of the car, we're talking about getting into the car. This car has comfort door access. So as soon as I put my hand inside the door handle, the car automatically unlocks and then I can get in. And then you can also press this little dimple right here and the car will lock. There's also some small Audi words. So Audi Q8 e-tron Quattro is in there for your windowsills. Now let's talk about the interesting features in the back seats. These are very comfortable leather interior, perforated options on the sides. We also have a rear climate control system and rear heated seats back here. You can also pull the center through. We have an armrest section, 2 cup holders, as well as additional storage. You can also do the 20 load through system, say if you just have the golf clubs or the hockey sticks that are poking through. With the front seats in the normal position, I have plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom, not to mention there's a panoramic glass sunroof open up here. We also have a rear privacy collar that connects right there so you can keep all the sun out. 2 USB-C ports to charge up, and as well as additional nets for any, iPads or anything you got to store and tuck away. Now let's talk about the front seats. We have heated and ventilated front seats on both the driver's and the passenger sides. We have this Audi leather wrapped steering wheel with this interesting design in the center, these big centers, and nothing actually at the bottom, which is very interesting. Full LCD display screen gauge cluster, as well as a full digital infotainment screen and a full digital climate control system down at the bottom. I also love the ergonomics of putting your hand on the shifter rest here, but it's not actually the shifter. There's a small toggle to the side, which is actually the shifter to go into drive, reverse, and park. Electronic parking brake, automatic hold while you're driving, and the gauge cluster can be customized in such an extraordinary way. You also have a center console here and an even bigger, just general center console here with 2 USB-C ports. Only 1 cup holder though that I find odd. Oh, wait a second. No, there's 2 cup holders, but there's just a little hard to pop that second one up. And there's a cover that can go away and just cover the cup holders completely. Now, most of the other features I'm going to show you guys are inside the infotainment system and a little hard to show you. So I'm going to hop behind the camera and show you all of those interesting features. Okay, so from my point of view, I like how the push button start is located down here and that the seat moves forward and the steering wheel moves down. Now this is the digital cage cluster that you're gonna get, and everything on the right side of the steering wheel is going to be adjusting. So right now we're on map view, but you can go over, and if a phone was connected, you'd see that. If you had media source playing, you'd see that. And then there's vehicle information. And on each one, you can use the scroll here to scroll through additional information under that main heading. You can also click view here and to see that option as your main option. So we can see maps here is the main one, or we can go back and we have our speed and kilometers in the center. You can also click this button right here to go through and adjust some of what you will see there, like map orientation, automatic zoom, and whatnot. Now it is an electric car, but you have these paddle shifters. These paddle shifters are for the regenerative braking that can be activated while you're driving. Now down below the steering wheel, you have cruise control stick, which is actually kind of odd. Most of the brands have it on the steering wheel controls, but it's a little funky down here, and pushing it forward actually cancels it. To go speed, you have to go up, which is an interesting take on that. You do have automatic rain sensing wipers, which can be done through the infotainment system. Down below the infotainment system, this is your climate control menu with a few of them up here for like limiting speed, having favorites, having your universal garage door opener programmed in, charging, or if you just wanted to turn the infotainment system completely off, you got to tap to turn it back on. And then if you just click that button, it goes back up into full screen there. This is a quick button into the driver's assistance. Radio volume, which is a little finicky, but I guess you're really meant to use it on the steering wheel. And then down below, this is your transmission controller. So that's drive, that's forward, 1 click back for neutral, and P on the side there is for park, the electronic parking brake. And then down below you have your 2 cup holders, which you can push these flaps down and away or pop them back up like that. It's actually a little hard to pop them back up on your finger, and then that slides forwards to completely cover them. Glove box area, and interestingly enough, you have your memory seat saves are down in the corner here, which are actually a little far away and not that ergonomic. Surprising it's not just up here. You do have an e-tron on the dash with this aluminum trim or center vents, and you can get the optional head-up display or 360 parking camera if you wanted to add in that package. You also have a little bit of additional storage down here, and you have your sunroof controls for this massive panoramic glass sunroof here for opening and closing. Now let's take a little bit of a look into the infotainment system. So on the main screen, you can swipe on the main menu, go through all of the options here. You have your radio, music, phone, navigation all programmed in. Navigation there. So one thing I like about the navigation is full keyboard will come down here, but if you are driving and the vehicle is actually moving, it switches over to the draw. So you can only draw if you are driving, which is it's actually pretty nice to use. I also like how the map is like a satellite view versus being its own kind of like Apple Maps setup that a lot of other brands have. And from the main menu, if you go into vehicle, you can go into all of those vehicle settings. Audi Drive Select, which is also down here as well, so that's redundant as well. Vehicle data, efficiency assist, you can go into seats, air conditioning. Lights and visibility is a good one. Interior lights for your ambient lighting, different colors that you can go through, that you can choose from. Parking aid, driving assistance, so you can go through and click maximum, basic, or individual for all of your driving assistance. And favorites. And that's everything I got for you on the inside. Now the next interesting feature is actually underneath the hood. So if we open that up, it's a pure electric car, but you have a little bit of a frunk here on the Audi, which is a great place that Audi recommends storing your charging cable. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out with YouTube algorithm. Don't forget, if you guys are in the Toronto area, come visit Audi Queensway to purchase your Q8 e-tron or any other Audi. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you on the next video.